Everybody take one step back.
All right, Alexander.
Because that way the people who are right here in front are not like squished into the stage, okay? Cool, great, welcome. Welcome to Houston.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. What a beautiful day you guys have for me. I appreciate it.
So, how many of you guys watched the Kid Choice Awards last night?
By the way, thank you guys so much. Anybody who voted, we only got that blip because of you. Thank you so much.
So tell everybody about the awards. What was it like? And just tell us a little bit about what happened last night.
It was pretty amazing. So we went there with the idea of filming a music video. How many of you guys saw that music video? So we filmed that entire thing live during the Kids' Choice Awards. And it made it all the better when we actually won Favorite Music Group. I mean, we had LMFAO, Black Eyed Peas, Lady Antebellum in the same group. So honestly, without you guys, we wouldn't have had it. Thank you again. And the whole experience was awesome. Will Smith, who likes Will Smith? Awesome host, really just a fun show.
So, like last night, very late last night in Los Angeles, California, we got on a plane.
Yes.
Very late, at about 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And flew to Houston and got here at 6:30 this morning.
Alexander.
I stopped counting at about 4
Stay up
a.m.
there.
So we really appreciate you being here. So what we've done is, before you got here, we passed around this bucket and a bunch of kids asked questions. So I'm gonna ask you some of those questions.
Let's do it.
So one of the first questions is, how did you get started in acting?
I started singing before anything, and actually my mom threw me into a choir, and I gotta be honest, I hated it. I didn't like it at all, but about 2 weeks in, I fell in love with it. So I was playing sports and singing, and in the 8th grade, I decided to attend a performing arts school, and from then on, I figured, hey, if I can do this for a living, I'll never really have to work a day in my life, so kept doing it.
So what was your favorite thing about it? What did you love about it?
I love when I went to performing arts school that I was finally around a bunch of other kids who had the same passion that I did. They like dancing, or they like singing, and they like performing. And being around the same environment really encouraged me to work harder and be competitive to get better.
Right.
So it was awesome to be around kids with mutual interest.
So did you have a hard time doing school and that early on?
I was lucky because from the 8th grade on, I was actually in performing arts schools.
Right,
so
right.
the structure was based around education as well as the performing arts. But yeah, even then, funny enough, whenever I actually booked work, and I was lucky to start working when I was young, it was hard. It's always hard to be working and be doing school, but ultimately school always was a priority.
Right. And so, how did you get into Big Time Rush? You auditioned, I think, in like 2007?
Yeah, Big
Tell us
Time
about
Rush.
that.
It was 2 years of auditioning. So anybody out there who's aspiring to be an actor or a singer, if somebody says no or you don't hear back right away, don't get discouraged, because sometimes the best jobs can take a long, long time. But it was a couple years, and after 2 years of screen tests and auditioning and everything, it just finally came together.
Oh my gosh, that is a long time.
It is a long time.
So what is what's your favorite thing? Well, this is from Ariel. What's your favorite thing about Big Time Rush, the show?
My favorite thing about the show is Scott Bellows, who created it, really picks everybody from cast and crew to be like a family. I mean, everybody is just honestly good-hearted, so when I go to work, it's like my second family, and I love being around everybody.
It's all right.
So tell us what your typical day of filming is like.
If I tell you about it, it's not going to sound as exciting.
That's okay. That's okay. This is your real life.
So we film single camera, so it's like filming a movie versus a show like iCarly. You know that show? They film 4 cameras, so they get to film an entire episode in about 2 days, and it takes us 5 days, 12 to sometimes 20 hours a day to make our episodes. It takes a really long time, but the advantage of it is we get to go on location and make episodes like Big Time Beach Party, where we spent 2 weeks in Malibu, so that's pretty fun.
Oh, that sounds like a blast.
That was definitely the best episode to film.
So can you give us a little sneak peek of what's ahead on the show?
We go back tomorrow. Tomorrow's the first day of filming season 3. We have a bunch more Big Time Rush coming, and I can't give away any major secrets, but the first episode is going to be really, really cool, because we're actually going to integrate a little bit of real life footage from our actual tour, the Better With You tour we just did. So keep a lookout for the first episode.
Okay, so speaking of tours, you guys are on tour, about to go on tour. I know you're coming back to Houston.
Yes. We're coming back here this summer. We just played a small tour called the Better With You tour. Played about 20 shows and did very well. So this summer we're playing 50 or 60 shows. We're definitely coming back here.
Oh my God, that's a big schedule. So this is a question, there's no name on it, but I know most of the people out there want to know if you have a girlfriend.
I recently started dating Halston, and she's great. So yeah, we're trying it out. I'm so busy. I'm not sure, but yeah, she's great. So.
I'm looking for the, this is a question, again, there's no name. Will you be my date to prom? Well, that would be fun.
Well, I don't know your name, but very possibly if I meet you.
Yes.
This is from Mary, and she wants to know what's your favorite thing to do when you're not either on the show or with the band?
Hi, Mary. How you doing? My favorite thing to do, I love surfing. I love going to the beach. I'm lucky to live in California, so it's not too far away. And also being on tour, it's fun. Every day I get to go to like a new gym or go on a run somewhere and see a city, so I like exploring.
Yeah, awesome. And you mentioned sports earlier. You're a big sports guy. Other than surfing, kickboxing? I read somewhere about kickboxing or martial arts.
I grew up doing martial arts, and you know, I box just for fun. I'm not very good at it, and I don't compete because, unfortunately, if I get hit in the face too much, I probably couldn't do what I do. But it's fun to train, and so I like to do something active like that.
And this is also, what kind of music do you have on your iPod? What do you like to listen to?
I've got everything from Jason Mraz and Jack Johnson on one side to Skrillex and dubstep on the other side. So quite a big variety depending on the mood I'm in.
Yeah, very good. And your favorite car? This is all about favorites.
Ooh, my favorite car might be a '69 Shelby Cobra.
Very nice. Very nice.
So one day I'd like to rebuild one, but that might be a little ways off.
And your favorite, what's your favorite restaurant you like to go to? Favorite kind of food, I should say, really, because restaurants are restaurants. What's your favorite kind of food?
You really can't go wrong with a hamburger. I believe it's very possibly the perfect meal. Listen, hear me out. You've got your protein, right? You've got your fruits and vegetables between your lettuce and your tomato, which is a fruit. The parents, they should be agreeing with me. Not a bad meal.
Okay, and I was also reading that you did a little mountain climbing. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I've been rock climbing since I was little, just for fun.
Yeah.
And when I was 18, I climbed Mount Whitney, which was great. It's the tallest mountain in the continental U.S. And when I have more time, I want to go Kilimanjaro and do a few others. Maybe not Everest, but close to it.
What was that like, being that high up? Do you have to train a lot for it, or?
Yeah, I went when there was more snow. It was a record amount of snow. So usually it can be a really big hike in the summer, but it turned into an ice climb.
Oh, wow.
So it was one of the hardest physical things I've ever done, but also one of the most rewarding things when I actually got to the top.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, there's some other questions in here. Again, you guys didn't do very good with your names. That's okay. One of the questions was, have you ever written your own music, or do you have an interest in doing that? Like, kind of looking ahead.
I'm gonna make up a name, Rachel. Great question, Rachel. Thank you. Actually, on Elevate, I wrote quite a few songs, including the title song Elevate. And I'm continuing to write. In fact, on Monday we're cutting another one of my songs that, who knows, maybe it could be the summer single. But all of us write, the whole band writes. We wrote the majority of the last album. And I'm gonna continue to write, and in the future, perhaps sing my own music.
That's very good. So you guys write as a group, or do you write individually, or both?
We do both. All of us wrote at least one song individually on there. And then songs we wrote together, like Love Me, we wrote. We wrote that on the tour bus last summer over like 3 or 4 days. So that was a really cool song because all of us really contributed to it.
That's awesome. So, in your tell us a little bit, just kind of rewind a little bit about music. What's it like being on tour? Like, what's your day like? Getting ready, and it's just crazy because you have so many fans.
Yeah, tour life is crazy, but it's also a lot of fun. I get to, when we sleep in a little bunk from about you to here. But it's really cool because I actually get to sleep in versus filming, where you wake up at 4 a.m.
Right.
But it's fun. We're in a different city every day. We get to meet new fans every single day, and there's nothing like being on stage and playing a show. It's the best feeling.
So have you had a, what's it?
I like your enthusiasm.
She's about to be squished by a speaker. So here's a question from Gigi. Is Gigi out there? Finally somebody can put their name. She's right here.
Hi, Gigi.
Oh, she's right there. This is Gigi. What's your favorite book series? Sounds like Gigi is a reader. What do you like to read?
I read a lot. When I was younger, one of my favorite books was called Ender's Game. And I think they are finally making a movie about it. So in the next couple of years, they wanted to make a movie, I know, 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, but they didn't have the technology. And now the CGI has gotten so great.
Right.
I hear they're finding, because it's very futuristic. So.
Right.
And then, you know, I read The Hunger Games last tour. Who saw the movie? Pretty good. I think they did a really good job considering, but let's be honest, it's not as good as the books.
I know. It never is. I can't wait to see it. I haven't had a chance to see it. I've been so busy working on the festival. How many of you guys have been to the festival before? Well, I just want to thank you again for being here because you know the whole festival benefits child abuse for abused and neglected kids. So just by you guys walking in the gate, buying a snow cone, whatever, you've actually raised money for child advocates. So anyway. So James, are you involved in any kind of charities and stuff? Tell us some of the stuff that you've done maybe with the band in the past.
We go out of our way and try and support as many things as we can. One of the biggest things we do is we visit children's hospitals. So anytime that we can go and visit the ICU or visit the sick, you know, a lot of those kids can't come to our concerts. In fact, we've heard a lot of stories where kids bought tickets hoping, and then we hear they can't make it, and we'll try and visit them and give them hope to make it to the next show. So it's amazing how many kids have touched our hearts and how many kids we've got to meet that watch the show, and just through the funniness of the show or through the music, it gives them a little bit more of a reason. And honestly, as long as this is fun for you guys and helps kids like that, we're gonna keep doing it. And there's nothing more rewarding than that.
Right, and I know those kids are so grateful. I just can't imagine, you know, being sick or recovering from surgery or whatever, and having you guys walk through your hospital room. That would be pretty amazing. That would be pretty amazing. Okay, this question is from Kelly, and her question is, what's your favorite Big Time Rush song? Do you have a favorite song out of all of them?
It's hard to pick favorites, but one of my favorites on Elevate is No Idea. I really like it. It's beautiful. I think that everybody sounds great on it, and it was just a lot of fun to record. We worked with some unbelievable producers to make that song, which is part of the reason I like it, but frankly just how it turns out and how simple when we perform it on stage, we actually just get to sit and sing, which is rare for us, because if you've seen a concert, you know we jump and dance and flip around a lot, so it's nice to sit there and just sing. Thank you.
Did you know how to dance? Did you learn how to dance? Did you guys take dancing, the choreography? I mean, it's pretty intense.
I mean, everything's a process, and the more you do something, the better you get. Trust me, we are far better now than we were a couple years ago. And even then, there's room for improvement when it comes to dance. But, you know, I had some experience taking dance in performing arts school, so I was lucky to have a leg up there.
Yeah.
And we're still in classes whenever we can be, and I still go out of my way to work on it, because I think that you practice to your weaknesses. So anything that you're not as good, you should really work harder and harder at.
Right.
And for all of us, none of us were really professional dancers before this. I definitely acted and sung a lot more. So that's been part of the process, is dancing a lot more to get better.
And a lot of training, I'm sure.
Sure.
I mean, physically, it's pretty hard to do a show. It's like a big workout on top of singing and dancing and flipping and everything else all at the same time.
It's kind of, you know, if you wanted to kind of get the feeling of being on stage for an hour and a half and performing the way that we do, run for an hour and a half straight while singing, then you'll kind of figure it out.
That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. Well, we are going to take a quick little break. If you would like an autograph, James is going to be signing autographs. We really appreciate you being here. We're going to be back on stage at 3 o'clock to have more questions and answers. But if you want to get in line for an autograph, he's going to be signing autographs in just a minute right over there. And thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'll see you guys in a little bit.